Hey, first graders, guess what? We have made it to our very last second steps lesson today. So it's time to get our brains ready and review all of the things we have learned so far in our second steps this year. It's been a lot. So let's get our brains ready. Now that our brains are ready, let's review what we talked about last week. Now, if you remember, we started to learn about a little girl who had fallen down, and some friends were not being very kind. Let's take a look at that picture. So, here in this picture, we remember last time we learned that when someone calls you a mean name, you can ignore the person or speak assertively. What is something you could say? Did you come up with, it's not okay to call mean names? Or, I don't like when you call me names? You can use an assertive voice. You learn that if the person doesn't stop calling you names, you should tell a grown up. There's a grown up at school who could help you if this happened at school. There are grown ups in the playground that could help you if it happens when you're at home. Think about what grown-ups who you can go to that can help you when someone is calling you a mean name. That was what we learned about last week. Now, when we think back to our second steps from the beginning of the year, oh my, we have learned so much. So I've brought Puppy and Snail here with me today so that they can help review all of the wonderful lessons we have learned and all of the things that we have learned in our second steps. They are so excited to help me today. So now our brains are ready. Let's go through and review some of the things that we learned this year in second steps. All right. Now, we did talk about this girl and what we need to do if someone is calling us mean names. Well, let's go back to this very first picture we took a look at. We heard a story about Zach who didn't know the listening rules. Instead, he talked to his friend and didn't pay attention to his teacher. Show me how your body looks when you are following the listening rules. Do you remember those 4 listening rules? Hands up if you remember them. Oh, let's see. Did you come up with focus attention, listen, use self talk, and be assertive? Right? Those are some of our things that we have to do when we're doing our best listening. Now, we also learned about Tiffany. Tiffany needed some help from her teacher, and she had to use one of her skills for learning. Can you think about the skills for learning? Close your eyes and say those 4 skills in your head too. Focusing our attention, listening to our teacher, using self talk like you can do it, try your best, you got this, and be assertive. Did you get all 4? You did. You really know how to be learners. Now let's turn on our attentoscopes and listen to the learner song.
Focus, focus, listen, listen, use your self-talk. Be assertive, focus, focus, listen, listen, use your self-talk. Be assertive, focus, focus, listen, listen, use your self-talk. Be assertive, this is the way we all can learn. This is the way we all can learn. First you focus, get your attention, use eyes and ears and brain. Now you listen, make sure you listen, use eyes and ears and brain. Use your self-talk, say I can do this, and focus, focus now. Be assertive, if you don't get it, just ask for help out loud. as you focus, get your attention, use eyes and ears and brain. Now as you listen, make sure you listen, use eyes and ears and brain. Use your self-talk, say I can do this, and focus, focus now. Be assertive, if you don't get it, just ask for help out loud.
What a great song about focusing our attention and doing our learning. Now, Puppy and Snail here again, and they often visited our class during our lessons. Now, they learned about identifying feelings and having empathy. Is it okay for people to have different feelings about the same thing? Of course, of course. Snail agrees, and so does Puppy. Puppy and Snail also learned that empathy helps you get along with others. Now, Puppy and Snail learned about some strong feelings. We saw some of these strong feelings. Let's take a look at the posters where we saw students who were having strong feelings. Here, we saw a little boy who was disappointed. We also saw a girl get frustrated or upset. We also saw some boys who were angry. These are big feelings. And jealous, another big feeling that this student had. Now, lastly, we had this boy who was worried when his dad was running late. All of these are big feelings that you can have. Now, we know that when we have those big feelings, we can calm down. Pretend you are really angry and show me how to calm down. Did you try deep belly breaths? What else can you do to calm down? Did you say count? Absolutely. There are different steps you can take when you have big feelings and you need to calm down. Let's remember what those steps are by listening to the Calm Down song together. Here we go. Another great song that we got to listen to in our second steps.
When your heart is all aflutter and you're panting like a dog, when your legs are feeling shaky and your mind is in a fog, it's time to put your hands on your tummy. Hands on your tummy. Then say stop. Say stop. Name your feeling. Name your feeling. Take a belly breath. And then you calm right down. Calm right down. We've just been scared by something, and your belly starts to ache. When you're really sad and worried, and your hands begin to shake, it's time to put your hands on your tummy. Hands on your tummy. Then say stop. Say stop. And name your feeling. Name your feeling. Take a belly breath. You calm right down. Calm right down. Yeah, when you're bursting with excitement and you're spinning like a top. When you've had a disappointment and your special plans went flop, it's time to put your hands on your tummy. Hands on your tummy. Then say stop. Say stop. Name your feeling. Name your feeling. Take a belly breath. And then you calm right down. Calm right down. Take a belly breath. Calm
Another great song to help us remember how we can calm down when we have those big feelings. Now, I'm going to show you a card and see if you remember the story about Brianna and Anne. They had to use the problem-solving steps to solve their problem on the monkey bars. Do you remember those two girls? Let's take a look. Here they are. Now, if you remember, they had a big problem. Close your eyes and say the problem-solving steps to yourself. Do you remember what those 4 steps were? S, say the problem. T, think of solutions. Anything else? E, do you remember what we do for E? Did you say come up with solutions? That's right. We have to think about what will happen and then the solution. Pat yourself on the back now that you remember the problem-solving steps. Now, we also had some other students who had a problem. These 2 boys had a problem in their classroom too with their building materials, but they found out that playing in fair ways helps them both have fun. Let's think of the 3 fair ways to play. Do you remember sharing, trading, and taking turns? That's right. Those were the 3 fair ways to play. Okay, we have one more song to listen to called The Fair Ways to Play. Let's listen to that song now.
When we both want the new toy, right at the same time. When we both start to grab it, what can we do? We can share, we can trade, we can take turns with each other. We can share, we can trade, let's take turns with one another now. La 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 la. When we both want the red paint, right at the same time. When we both start to grab it, what can we do? We can share, we can trade, we can take turns with each other. We can share, we can trade, let's take turns with one another now. La 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 la. When we both want the cool bike, right at the same time. When we both start to grab it, what can we do? We can share, we can trade, we can take turns with each other. We can share, we can trade, let's take turns with one another now. La 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 la. If we want to be good friends, have fun together. Try the fair ways to play. Sing them out loud. We can share, we can trade, we can take turns with each other. We can share, we can trade, let's take turns with one another now. La 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 la. We can share, we can trade, we can take turns with each other. We can share, we can trade, let's take turns with one another now. La 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 la.
Great song. Now, one more thing to review are those 4 steps for problem solving. Say the problem, think of solution, explore the consequences, and of course, pick the best solution. Those are the 4 steps we can take when we have a problem that we need to solve. We have learned so many great things in Second Steps this year, and I want each of you to think of one Second Step skill that you have used, maybe on the bus or in the classroom or on the playground. Can you think of one time where you used one of these skills to help you? Maybe you want to share it with someone at your home, how Second Steps has helped you in first grade. We have learned so much this year. And this might be our last lesson, but Puppy and Snail will maybe be around coming to visit and helping us remember all of those second step skills. We still have lots of learning to get done this school year, so we don't want to forget all of the things we've learned so that we can continue to use those skills in our classroom, on the playground, on the bus, and even at home. Now give yourselves a big hand for all of your skills for learning and get along with others. You did a wonderful job this year with our second steps, and I know that your teachers are so proud of you. And so are Puppy and Snail. Yay! Congratulations, first graders. You have made it to the end of our second steps lesson for first grade.